for the district. Today we are going to talk supporting a corporate club. So we had three sessions, three webinars. The first one was about attract and retain members. The second, how to charter a club. And this one, the last one, how can we support a corporate club, not only when the club is already set up, but also the process, because sometimes there is some issues and difficulties and obstacles in order to create, to support this kind of club. So the things we are going to talk is about basically 6 important steps: identify, meet, demo, support, review, and monitoring and showcase. So these are the 6 steps we are going to talk about regarding corporate clubs. And the first one, identify, is basically the stage or the step we need to take in order to understand what are the companies around us in the city or in the area where we are in that can be a company to set up inside the company a corporate club. So my advice, and in this case Toastmasters International advice, is that we look to companies that have more than 200 employees. Because as you know, we have at least a minimum of 20 members in each club, so 200 employees, it's not a lot when we are looking to around 10%, because 20, 25, 30 members from that company. So first of all, it's important to understand what type of companies do we have around. Secondly, it's also very important to understand the type of culture that these kind of organizations have. So this is important because not all companies understand Toastmasters concept and how we work and what is the value that we provide to them. And by understanding the organizational culture, we can go there and present how and why Toastmasters can be a benefit to the company employees and use their own words. We are very good presenting Toastmasters to a broader audience, so we can explain how a session works, we can explain in detail each one of the rules, everything regarding the manuals, but it's important to speak company's language when we are talking with them and explaining how Toastmasters work for them. It's not easy because they don't understand the Toastmasters concept. They are used to the traditional training where there is a trainer in front of everyone explaining, doing some exercises, and afterwards usually there is some follow-up or not. But here we are collaborating in a different environment. So everyone is learning and teaching at the same time. So it's important for them to have an open mind, and when we address them, to address them with their own words, addressing their own pains with what we have to offer. So organization culture and understanding this culture is very important. So it's one of the key aspects when we are identifying companies, or where we already identified a company, but we want to go there and talk with them. Secondly, meeting location and time is critical when we are talking about a corporate club. So people are working and they are not willing to give their free time to a club that is organized and which responsibility is the company where they work for. So it's important to understand, also taking in consideration the culture of the organization, how can they meet? If they can meet, for example, weekly, which is the best option, during the lunchtime, at the end of the day, early in the morning, and where. So if there is several locations for the same company in the city where they could meet. So identifying these kind of things, it's important when we go and talk with the company, because we can then suggest, not only suggest because we already look to the company from outside, but also we have additional resources, which means people that belong to that company that can give you some information. Additionally, we also have companies with Toastmasters Club already in the district and worldwide, and they have not only it is not bad practice because each company they do their own meetings in the specific places, but there is a pattern that we can identify, and that's the one I was explaining. So having a specific location and specific time, that everyone knows what will happen, when it will happen, and where. Also, it's important to identify a stable core team. One of the problems for the corporate clubs is that there is sometimes no stable core team. People leave the company or move to other locations, and there is no sometimes commitment from these core teams in order to keep alive the club. Sometimes the club started for fun, others started because they need to really have the development of specific skills inside the teams, but there were no committed team, there were no stable team, there were no one that said, I want to be a club officer and to prepare the following club officers. And sometimes it's also due to the organization culture, because sometimes people that are in these kind of roles, they see these as a role matching to the organization structure. For example, sometimes they see this a president of the club might be or could be like the CEO or the manager of a department. And it's important for us to clarify that Toastmasters is not the organization. The roles we have in Toastmasters are not the roles that we have in the organization. Toastmasters is a way to train people that can be a future director in the organization, a future manager, but it's a way to train. So it's a responsibly in a specific environment, and it doesn't need to be connected or tied to the roles you have in your organization. And for that, you can select people that are committed, and then in the second term, so have people that want to train these specific skills of management inside the club. Also very important is the internal champion or internal champions. Usually a club is created by someone that already knows Toastmasters concept and tries to bring the club to the company. That can be very helpful for sure, but it's important to have sometimes additional champions inside the company, someone that has higher responsibility and can commit the entire company to this kind of projects. And sometimes the project fails, Toastmasters in a company fails, because there is no management or senior management committed to this project. There is 2-3 people that already they are already Toastmasters, and they want to bring Toastmasters to the company, but without any commitment from the management team or even by the CEO or someone that has a higher position inside. So it's very important from the beginning to try to sell the concept to someone that can not only buy the concept but also be in some of the meetings. So by having someone from the senior management is very important, and also these kind of champions, if it's not a senior manager, that can help us access to decision maker. There are many corporate clubs that they people inside the company, from the CEO, like the HR manager, they don't know the club exists because it's organized like a community club, and there is no sponsorship from the top management. So in these situations is we need to have, when we are presenting Toastmasters, we need to have very clear who can be the person that can decide that this club is going to not only continue, but also if it's paid, the membership is paid by the company or partial paid by the company, and if they are members also for in this Toastmasters club, and when they can go there. So senior management, it's key to be involved. That's why I said who from senior management can commit with the project. So can be a decision maker that also it's inside the project, or someone from the higher positions in the company that says we want to have this club, this concept inside the company that can speak in the meetings, for example, in the weekly or monthly meetings they have, where they have everyone together, where there will be senior management explaining the value of Toastmasters for the company, then requesting people to join, and also appears in the meetings. He doesn't need to, he or she doesn't need to deliver a speech, for example, but if he goes there, it shows to everyone that is present that there is a commitment from a higher level in the organization, that someone wants that club to survive. So by looking to these points, when we are identifying which company, where, who inside the company can help us, it's very important. Otherwise, the club might even not charter because there is no conditions to meet. Secondly, we have the second stage, which is meet. So after we identify everything that I showed before, it's important to meet with this decision maker to understand what is his idea of Toastmasters. Also set expectations, understand what he or she expects from Toastmasters, and also what he or she expects from the development of each of the employees. Additionally, what we Toastmasters expect from the organization, because sometimes we think that the expectation is only from us to them, so mainly is from their side, so what they expect from Toastmasters, but it's important also for us to state what is expected from the company. This is a collaboration project. We are not there to give training. We are there with a program that can help their employees achieving higher standards in terms of leadership and in terms of communication. But there are certain rules they need to consider. Mainly, they need to... I'm going to disconnect the webcam because it seems there is some issues with the connection, so I'm stopping the webcam. So basically, it's important for them to understand what are the rules. The rules means the officers need to be trained. They need to attend to the club officers training twice a year. There is also contest they can join or not. But there are, for example, the area directed visits, which are not to control, it's to support the club. And there are some expectations we need to set up from the beginning and have the commitment from the decision maker. Also, it's key for the success of the club to explain Toastmasters from their perspective, not from our perspective. They don't know what is an advanced communicator gold or advanced leader silver or DTM, whatever. For them, that doesn't mean nothing. What they want is results. And they want a program that can help them beneficiate from what people will learn inside the clubs. So present this as a leadership development program. It's one of the ways to do it. So it's a leadership development program where they are going to train not only to be leaders in specific roles, but also how to communicate better as a leader. And there are different levels of certification. We don't need to detail that, but these different levels of certification are related to different roles people can do inside and outside the club, and also the communication path. So it's important to show them the features, benefits, and values that they can get from this leadership development program. And there is a document I can share with you, and it's available from Toastmasters International, where you can see the features I think you are seeing right now. So this document is the feature, benefits, and value from Toastmasters, and you can apply these to any kind of company. So you can adjust it, but then you have a self-paced program. So the benefits, the flexibility, value to the individual is unlimited personal growth, and value to organization is employee goal achievement. So this document is something that you can print and you can leave with the customer, or in this case with the company, which is our customer, of course. So this is several topics that are very valuable, where you can use them as a guideline when you are speaking to the decision maker, or even you can leave that along with additional marketing material about the Toastmasters concept overall and what are the benefits for the company. I see this document very valuable, and usually when the people in front of me start looking to the different values they get from for the individual and for the company, they understand better what are the idea behind Toastmasters. So, and this is one of the ways I used to sell Toastmasters. So this is something that a company understands: better communication, improve morale, enhance performance. It's something that they are looking to, and for the structure, the price, the way we do it, it's very, very cheap for them. So these are the ways that we can promote and sell the benefits of Toastmasters when we meet our decision maker. After the decision maker says, okay, I'm committed to this project, I think there can be a high value for not only the organization but also the employees, then we can detail even more, and this is some benefits that I gathered. Some of them are on the other document you saw. So basically, we can target these and present not only to the decision makers but also talk with HR and marketing to help promoting Toastmasters inside the company to the employees. So explaining the benefits they can have from having a Toastmasters inside the company. So this is a way that we can explain Toastmasters to the decision maker and promote Toastmasters in the company with words and an approach that everyone in the company will understand. So instead of talking about impromptu speech, talking about speeches to control time between 4 and 6 minutes, wherever, these are the key areas we can use to talk with them. So, and as based on my experience talking with organizations, it's very well received. Additionally, in the meeting, you can also clarify the type of learning we have. So we don't have the traditional learning they are used to of a trainer and the attendees. This is a collaboration project. We are collaborating between the employees, the organization, Toastmasters International. And this is a way to learn that is experimental. So they are experimenting not only they are giving training, but they are receiving training at the same time. And they are training all their skills in a collaboration environment. So it's very important to be clear that there is no trainer, and the people that go there from other clubs, sometimes the art director or other people inside the organization doing, for example, a learning moment in an educational way, they are not in the train role model. So they are in their own projects for the leadership, for example, but they are there as a normal Toastmaster, learning at the same time they are giving training or explaining the specific concepts. So this type of training is very important to say, okay, this is a collaboration project. It's also important with the decision maker to schedule the initial meeting. And we usually say that this initial meeting is the demo meeting because we prepare it in a way to show, to have like a showcase, to showcase not only the initial speakers but also advanced speakers. So in a couple of minutes I will present that kind of approach when we are talking about the meetings. But this initial meeting, where we call demo meeting, is really a demonstration of the capabilities of Toastmasters. When we are doing a meeting in the organization, and usually if the organization has a huge auditorium, we try to meet there. We request even to decision maker to have the first session there, to bring a very experienced Toastmasters, for example, to conduct the session, to be general evaluator, and if possible, to have, for example, a learning moment where someone will explain Toastmasters on the business perspective, and that usually works very well. So it's a way for them to understand there are different levels, and here we have someone doing a learning moment, which is something different that you will see from a normal session. And without any doubt, have the commitment from him and from senior management. This is key for the success of a club in the company. If there is no commitment from senior management, the club will not strive. Most corporate clubs last an average of 2 to 3 years, some of them might reach 4, but the corporate club does not have a lifespan of a community club because people leave and mostly because usually there is no commitment from senior management. I give you a good example that I was involved with here in Portugal. We have one of the biggest oil companies in Portugal adopting Toastmasters. And they decide that the Toastmasters concept is so useful, they are including in Toastmasters concept for all the employees that need to develop their leadership and communication skills. And they decided to create the club specifically for the ones that had in the annual appraisal, there was mentioned that they need these kind of skills. Now they are going to create another one that is open to every employee in the organization. But the first club has the commitment from the HR manager and the sponsorship of other senior managers in the company, and they go there. They attend to the sessions. They don't attend only the first one. They go there, and there are specific metrics in terms of evaluation for the membership, and these metrics are shared with the top management for each division. So they are following the progress of the employees, and they appear when they need to appear in the different sessions to show there is commitment from the top level to up to the employees, up to now until reaching the employees. So these are key aspects in the meeting phase that we need to consider. Then we have the demo meeting. In the demo meeting, the advice is to have between 2 to 3 speeches and with an icebreaker from someone from the club. It's very important to not to have everyone from the club, because not everyone is already knowledgeable about not only the roles but even the different levels. So, and it's not interesting to have like 2 to 3 speeches of icebreakers. So bring someone from the company to do the icebreaker. Also, some of the roles involve people from the club, but then have an intermediate or advanced speech from someone from other club. Because by having different levels, the attendees, we can see that there are a path, there are a learning curve, they can achieve that. And what are someone from the icebreaker, and by the way, the icebreaker does not need to be a very good speaker, it's someone that is doing an icebreaker in order for them to understand what are the entry level in terms of structure, and then what are, for example, a project 10 or even an advanced manual. When there is a demo meeting in the company, I also suggest to, if you can, instead of having 3 speeches, for example, have 2 speeches and a learning moment, can be an option, or the advanced project should be or could be a project from a manual that is oriented to a company. For example, persuasive speeches instead of storytelling. Storytelling can also be one of the projects, but from the manual of persuasive speeches, for example. So you or technical presentations. So it's something that they can see that there are beyond the competent communicator, there is content that are very helpful for them. Also give time for questions and answers. There will be many attendees that they didn't understand what is Toastmasters, even seeing Toastmasters, because they are tied to the former, to the traditional concept of learning. And also, if there are senior managers there, sometimes they don't, they want to ask questions, even they want to speak, because they want to explain what are the benefits for the company, because in this situation of the Portuguese oil company I told you about, there are senior managers, and they explain the value, because some of the attendees were asking about, oh, but how will be this tied to our progress in terms of learning path. Also, when can we, if there is mandatory to attend all sessions. So there are some key aspects that people can ask, and if there is senior people there or the sponsor, champion for the project, they can answer. Make available the application forms, because in the demo meeting probably there will not be the 20 members needed to charter the club. So if people want to join voluntary after the session, you can make the application forms available, collect the information, and then you can gather everything in order to charter, instead of asking again signatures and all that stuff. So a way to help the company in the process is to make the application forms available. And very important, commit to the next session. So just a moment. Commit to the next session. So when we finish the demo meeting, uh, before we schedule the demo meeting, it's important to agree what is the periodicity of the meetings. One of my suggestions is weekly, or sometimes each 2 weeks. But for the next meeting, it's important to request to the people that already decided to join the club who is going to do a speech, who is going to have a specific role, and by doing that, you are already committing people to not only their progress, but to the success of the next meeting. So it's not very interesting to have in all meetings people from outside the company doing most of the roles. So it's very important to have from the beginning most of the roles and the speakers be from the company if possible. And in the second session, you can have, for example, 2 icebreakers and one person from another Toastmasters club doing a speech. So this is a way also to help the club, but you cannot think that we need to give them freedom in order to for them to start picking up the speed in order to have the regular meeting. So the way is to really commit them to the next meeting and to the roles that are going to be available on the next meeting. So this is demo meeting. After the demo meeting, it's what for me the important two things important. One, support, and in terms of support, we are talking about first membership and payments. The advice is to have more than 25 members. I will risk to say around 20 members. So in a big company, it's easy to have these numbers. And more than 25, why? Because if the club decided to meet, for example, during lunchtime, maybe some of the employees are not there. They are outside the company. So, it's easy, very easy to have very few members available to a meeting if you have only 20 members there. So, and also there are many of them employees that leave the company or move to another location. So it's key to have or to keep the number above the 25, not above the 20, the normal 20, above the 25. Remember, this is a different kind of meetings. There is also a different kind of commitment. They meet in different times, and the company needs to allow people to attend, but they also need to be free to attend. And as you know, clients are more important than having a meeting of Toastmasters. So the priority will not be Toastmasters, will be the projects they are involved in, the proposals they need to present, and it's easy to also to find excuses, of course. So it's very important to have a high level of members. Also, talk with the decision maker and another areas, namely, for example, HR, to include Toastmasters as part of their employee development program. And that's one of the ways that Toastmasters succeeds inside the companies. So if it's tied to their development, where, for example, you can define a performance development plan that I'm going to talk about, it's easy for them to commit and also to follow up. Regarding the payments, usually companies decide to pay the full or part of the subscription dues. Depends on the policy. Sometimes they pay half of them. They pay, for example, the initial fee and half of the dues. But this is something that it's important to agree with them. So who is going to pay? If it's the company, if it's the total value, and for them, so the amount of money it's involved, it's very, very inexpensive compared to another kind of initiatives they might have. And understand, really understand, how the company process payments. Usually this is a big issue. Companies, they have their own processes in order, for example, to open someone as a provider, and Toastmasters is considered for them a provider. Also, they have rules for invoice. So it's key for us when we are creating a corporate club, or we have, for example, we are an area director of a club that already exists in a company, to understand how they process payments for us to help them, and to talk with Toastmasters International and to see how can Toastmasters International fulfill their needs. For example, usually there are issues with invoices. That's one of the issues that, for example, the treasurer of the company, the club, needs to send all the data every time they have an invoice. They send all the data to Toastmasters International requesting the invoice for that members, because the information that it's online, it doesn't have any value for them. So, and really understand how company process payments in order for us to help them. And us means the area director, the division director, the additional officers from the district, in this case the club growth director, me, or the person that is going to assume the role for the next year, and also Toastmasters International. So we as district officers are the bridge between the company and Toastmasters, and if we really understand how the process works, we can avoid some issues like, for example, the club being suspended because they didn't pay, or the payment is incomplete, or even the members who not attending contests because they are not eligible. So this is very important. Also, as a club sponsor or area director or other district officer roles, we need to help the club during the charter process. All the documentation, all the papers, all the signatures, we know how things work, and that's why I presented the previous webinar. So the team, the core team in the district are here to help you, and specifically the club growth director, to help you with all the documentation, even reviewing everything before sending to Toastmasters. And if a community club sometimes have some issues with this charter process, a corporate club even more, due to their own internal rules. So our guidance is even more important in this kind of situations. So support them, and this is the role, this is the responsibility of club sponsor, and we can have up to 2 club sponsors when we are charting a club, and also the responsibility of the area director to support the club. Additionally, division director can be involved, and the main role in the district should also be the club growth director. Advise the club to create a performance development plan. The performance development plan is, for example, what is the minimum of sessions each employees should attend per year, if there is a minimum of being a competent communicator until at the end of the year, or content leader. So defining some metrics that can be useful first for the member, because they know how to measure their progress, but most importantly to the company, because the company is paying a membership for their employees develop communication and membership skills, and sometimes they don't know what they are doing. So they don't know what is the progress of the employees. They don't know in which level they are in. So it's key for us to help them create this performance development plan. And it's not nothing special. You can use the normal progress in the content communicator, the normal progress in the content leadership, or even let's say a path to DTM, if we can use that, and define the metrics where people want to be, also the minimum attendance, minimum speeches for example, per month, whatever. It doesn't have to be something fixed. It needs to be agreed by the company, and we need to work. And by we mean area director, club sponsors, and the officers that are going to assume this club, and also the company. And it's critical to clarify them what is the DCP, the club officers training, and contests. Why? First of all, DCP is the metric Toastmasters use to understand if the club is a sustainable club, if people are progressing or not, if officers are trained. And you can use the Distinguished Club program as a metric, not necessarily a metric for individual members. That's what I mentioned as a performance development plan, but a metric for the club. And companies, they love metrics, as you know. So we have metrics, and we can present that metrics by extracting information from the dashboard, because sometimes they don't want to go to the dashboard, and present information about the progress in a monthly basis, for example. Okay, the club officers training, it's also another thing you need to clarify. I hear a lot people saying, oh, but they are a company, they are not interested in club officers training, they don't attend to area councils, they don't attend to the trainings, they don't attend to contests, and they don't attend because we didn't educate them to attend. That's our responsibility. Sometimes they don't even know what is a club officers training, because we think that, oh, this is a company, we give them the manuals and they will figure out. Wrong. Let's imagine that you are working with a software company. The software company that sells you the software, they will explain you how the software works. They will give you training, and then they will have also their own rules of usage for that software, and also for the maintenance of that software. So basically, we as a client of a software company using a software, we obey by their rules. And it's exactly the same with Toastmasters. Don't think that by people paying a small fee that they are allowed to only use the manuals by themselves. It's our responsibility to support the club in every aspect of their life, and I would risk to say even more than a community club, because they have their own rules as a company. We are outsiders, but we want to support them. And sometimes what I hear also is, oh, but they have their private meetings, so the meetings are confidential and all that things. Okay, but that meetings are not all the time. So, and if you agree that as an area director you are going to visit the club like one per month, or there is also club mentors, and each club can have up to 2 mentors. These 2 mentors, they are responsible for the sustainability and supporting the club. So these 2 club mentors with additional area director, these 3 people that can attend regularly, mainly the club mentors, to the club and help the club, not only supporting them by giving best practice, but also educate them on how Toastmasters work, explain the rules. And if, for example, they don't have availability to attend club officers training during the weekend, well, you can gather all the corporate clubs in your city and organize one session at the end of the day specifically to companies. And that's one of the things that many districts and divisions do. They almost have like a club officers training specifically for companies. So if they don't go to you, you go to them. But it's key for them to have this training. And the contest, well, the contest is only for fun. We are, of course, we are competing with other people, but the contest is one way to improve the communication skills and a way to receive a lot of feedback that can make the difference when we are presenting something to a broader audience and representing our company. So sometimes the contests are presented as competition, purely competition. Don't present like that because it's not true. You cannot know what other people are doing. You can only compete with you. You can only compete with the previous speech you did when you won, for example, the club contest, and now you are going to the area contest. People can be better, can be worse than you, but you are competing only with what you did previously. So it's an improvement process. I will say it's a fast improvement process where you can receive a lot of value from feedback from everyone around. And when you are inside a company, sometimes you don't attend to other clubs. So you don't know other realities, you don't see other type of speeches. So it's a way to also look to different things being done in other places. Also clarify what is the club mentor, what is the area director and other club and roles beyond that. Many don't know what is the district, and sometimes I even area directors don't know sometimes what is the district, because I already heard people say, oh, because the clubs, they don't know what the district does. Well, this is, yeah, and this was something, this was said by an area director. They say, well, first of all, you are the district. A district officer starts in the area director. So if the area director does not know what are their responsibilities, it's of course an issue when supporting the club. So clarifying that these people are not there to supervising, they are not supervisors, they are not the auditors, they are not going to there to see what is wrong. That's something completely wrong, and sometimes it's, yes, what people do. Sometimes that's the position they assume. Sometimes when the area director visits a club, it's like, okay, let's meet. Oh, this is something that is met, this is not met. No, the goal when the area director visits a club is to understand how can we better support the club, period. It's not a supervision role. It's a supporting role. Also, club officers are supporting roles. And if they want to be leaders, they don't need to act like managers or act like auditors or supervisors. So it's very important to explain that from mentor to district, and let's say the district director, we are here to help them having a club that is sustainable, they have enjoyable meetings, and everyone learns in the leadership and communication area. And that's what we do in Toastmasters. So that starts when we have the initial meetings, and that starts also the position and the posture of the club mentor when club mentor visits. So the club mentor is not the guru, is not the guy or the lady that knows everything about Toastmasters, is someone that is there learning also as area directors. But clarify what are the roles, because sometimes they see these kind of roles as the same things they see inside their own organization. Sometimes they see, for example, a district director as like the CEO of Toastmasters in the district, which is not correct. Also, they see, for example, the area director as they see their managers. It's not correct. So clarify the positions. And if you clarify that, you will be also well received in the club, because they will see you as a peer with an additional responsibility. And that's what we have. When we assume this kind of roles, we have only additional responsibility compared to other members, nothing more. And last but not least, we have two more. So we have review and monitoring. So help the club by reviewing the performance development plan. So to understand where they are, what do you need to do. So if you need to organize an additional training in order to, well, to, for example, how to conduct better sessions. Also an additional learning moments. For example, when we are in the advanced leader bronze, we need to deliver 2 learning moments. You can bring someone from another club to do a specific learning moment that can count towards their leadership path, and it can help the club, a corporate club, to learn even more about what is Toastmasters all about and what the roles. And by using the performance development plan, so understanding what they need, where they are, and how can we help them, not only you are helping the members, but also then you are working with the company and present also this review and review this with the company, which HR manager, so the sponsor, the champion inside the company, and even you can ask for example, in a session, if you are an area director or if you are a club mentor, you can have some like 5 to 10 minutes in a special session where everyone is asked to be on, where you can present this performance development plan. So it's a way for people to say, oh, I could be even more ahead of what I am right now, and it's a way to see progress, and then they can not only see it visible in the document, but also they can feel it when they are on stage. Another very important point is the DCP. And it's, as I said previously, it's a way for us and for them to understand if the club is a healthy club, and if, for example, the officers are trained or not in the twice per year, if they have new members. And in a corporate club, having new members can be sometimes difficult because they can target the club for a specific amount of members. Let's say they can say, okay, we only have 50, and these 15 members will be only the ones that are going to belong to the club for example, 2 years, whatever. So if there is no additional members, this aspect in DCP is not going to be considered. But the idea is not for them to achieve president or select or distinguish. That doesn't really matter for them. They don't care about DCP. But we need to present DCP as a way, as a tool to follow the progress, and that's the goal. That's why DCP is important for them, not being president. If they are president distinguished, they say, okay, that's great, but well, that doesn't mean nothing for most of them. Also, as area director, club mentor, attend the sessions. Attend sessions because you can bring value. You can bring a lot of value to them. Of course, you don't know anything about their business. Sometimes you are not even allowed to be there due to the nature of the sessions. But if you explain, and if they see, if they feel you are an experienced Toastmasters, they will receive you, for example, to be the first Toastmaster, the general evaluator, to evaluate speeches, and even if it's possible, to deliver a speech. Usually I don't recommend to have many people from outside the club to deliver speeches, but the feedback part, the technical roles, they are important, because sometimes they look to these kind of roles in the wrong perspective. Okay, so if they see someone being a very good general evaluator or a very good evaluator for a speech, that's a reference they want, and sometimes they want that, but as no one appears, it's difficult. So attend club sessions, and also to feel the environment, to see how they are progressing, and request help for them when they need really help. And last but not least, ask the senior management for feedback. Ask them what they already saw from their employees as a consequence of being inside Toastmasters. I have a very, very interesting example. One of my friends, and was my colleague in one of the companies I worked for, he didn't believe in Toastmasters. And once he said, okay, I'm going to join, I'm going to a session to see if that's interesting. He joined the session, he did his first icebreaker, and 3 days after, he had to deliver a technical presentation in one of the biggest events we had in Portugal. And the senior manager, he knew that he was in Toastmasters because we told him. And afterwards, the feedback from Toastmasters was, well, how many speeches did in Toastmasters? And said, okay, I did only one, the icebreaker. I notice already improvement on that. So I'm going to promote Toastmasters inside the company for more people to join, because if you did this with one speech, and of course more sessions, because he was attending more sessions, if you did this in one speech, so there is a real benefit, because you were the only presentation in the entire event that had impact. And the feedback then from the survey in the event was exactly that. That presentation had a huge impact, was very important for him also, because he saw, okay, and he had even he told this when we meet again, so the next session of Toastmaster session, he decided to ask time at the end of the session to explain that he was really proud to be in Toastmasters, to only did one speech. He gathered the feedback received and applied that feedback in a specific presentation, and it worked. So this is very important to involve the senior manager, to say that we are working, go there, attend, and also ask how is, if he or she sees any progress, okay? Because it's important for them. Last but not least, showcase. And what I mean by showcase is to, if you have a company club, showcase the company club in your newsletters and in conferences, area or even division conferences. Not because they are more than the community club, is because they are different from the community club. Of course, you need to showcase also community club at all levels. But here there is a specific ingredient that community clubs don't have. People inside the company, they have different goals. Also, people inside the company, they might have their club tied to their own development. And first and above all, there is a company that are investing, really investing in their employees. And many companies, they don't invest in their employees in a program like Toastmasters, not because Toastmasters is cheap, but because Toastmasters, it's a different concept, and they think that by sending people to 1-day training, 2-day trainings, 1-week trainings, it will solve problems. It's completely different. So by having Toastmasters inside a company, the result is bigger, and the company shows the company is committed to the concept. So if we showcase the company, besides of course the community clubs, it's very important. Also, invite senior management to special events. Invite the senior management to the conference to explain what is the benefit the company already had from having Toastmasters there. Put someone from the management team speaking about results. Not only if they don't want to speak, and if you see there is no need to speak, invite them for them to feel the environment, for them to feel, for example, how is a conference, how the conference works, what do we do in the conferences, what the joy, the networking, and by bringing them they see not only other clubs, but they feel part of Toastmasters. It's not like, okay, we have a company, we are running a learning program. No, we are part of a worldwide organization, and we know how things work. And also ask company to host events. Sometimes companies have huge auditoriums, and they are willing to share the auditorium for an area or even division conference. Also, if you have club officers training, run the club officers training inside their facilities. So they have the facilities there, and for sure they are not interested. Sometimes they are, but mostly they are not interested to charge anything, because they understand the concept if we explain the concept well, and they are willing to cooperate with us. So it's a way also to bring people to the company, to give publicity to the company, and it's a way to involve them. And if we don't involve them, it's mainly having a Toastmasters club inside a specific venue without anything more. And we want companies involved, not only in their employees, with their employees, but also with the concept. This address that I'm sharing right now, it's the address where you can see all companies that are sponsoring Toastmasters. It doesn't mean that every company there has a Toastmasters club inside. So it's difficult to know who are the corporate clubs in not only the district but worldwide, and the company is sponsoring, because it's easy for us to understand who is sponsoring what, but one thing is sponsoring, another thing is having also a club there. But most of them, they have clubs inside. So it's important to not only know this list, and sometimes this list is something you can give to the decision maker in the initial meeting, so to show that we have more than 6,000 companies supporting Toastmasters by having a club inside the company, or supporting the club, like giving the facilities for the meeting. But this list is a way for you to see, okay, if there is a subsidiary of this company, for example, let's say HP, subsidiary of HP in my town. So if HP has different clubs worldwide, so maybe I can talk with them and explain exactly that. That's okay. You have HP clubs in Portugal, you have HP clubs in England, whatever places, and they can talk internally and see the value of having a club, and then that's a way for you also to open doors for additional club. I mean HP, but it can be Cisco, it can be IBM, it can be any kind of company, because we have more than 6,000 companies supporting Toastmasters. So this is something that can help you also, and is a way for Toastmasters to showcase them. So these are publicly available, but it's a way for you to open a door to create a club inside a company. And I'm open to any questions that you might have regarding this session about supporting a corporate club. So for me, it's key to leave, or it's important to leave with you that first you need to have a location, but target companies that have more than 200 employees in that locations. Identify a way or identify a champion, talk with the decision maker, involve senior management in the company, understand also the way they work regarding payments, so how is the financial area regarding payments, and really have the commitment of everyone in order for the club to strive. Otherwise, it will be difficult to have a successful club inside the company. So I'm open to any kind of questions that you might want to ask. So just open your microphone. And now if Francesco Metaxia, Sig Metaxia, it's online. Any questions?
Nelson.
Tell me. Hi, Francesco.
Hi, Nelson. My question is related to something you said earlier on how it is important to have the sponsor inside the company, the person who is promoting or pushing Toastmaster participate in the meetings. In one of the clubs I was involved, we had this situation. We had the support of the CEO or the director of that company. But his presence was also a bit of a problem in the sense that others perceived it as it was an obligation to be there. And as soon as he was, for various reasons, maybe not able to come, then a lot of people started not coming. What is your suggestion in this particular situation?
Well, first of all, this is also because they were not, my perspective, and I already saw that in other situations. The other situations I saw is some because they were not committed to their own passage to the club's code. So they were there because there was some senior management there, and that's not the idea. The idea is senior management to say, okay, this is important for the company. That's why I'm here. And if possible, he or she should be a member of the club. Sometimes it's not possible, but that's a way to show the commitment, and he or she is there to learn. The thing is, there are companies where they are the hierarchy is very rigid, and they don't want to mix senior management with the rest of the employees, and they create a barrier and say, okay, we want senior management, we want to be in Toastmasters, but probably the idea is to create a specific club for us. So and have different let's say different levels of clubs. But in these situations, you should not, first of all, you should not force the CEO to be there first. So he goes there if he wants to go there. But when he goes there, it should be something, let's say, profitable in the meaning of people, he likes to be there, and people sees that, okay, he's there because he's supporting us, because this is really important. Not he's here to see how many people are here, if I attended or not, and I need to go, I need to return next time because I know that he's going to be there, and if he doesn't see me, that will be a problem. So that's completely the wrong perspective. And this is basically we need to educate them, educate the members, and sometimes educate also the CEO. Of course, in a very, I'm meaning this in a very good way. So explaining what is his role or her role in the meeting, and explaining people that what are also the role of the CEO in that kind of meetings. And when I saw this kind of behavior is because sometimes they are not committed, and they are there because they need to be there. So if they are there because they need to be there, the club will not survive for a long time. I don't know if it was clear. I respond to your question.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions you or any other attendee might have? So
Good evening, Nelson. It's Metaxia.
Good
Can
evening,
you hear
Metaxia.
me?
Yes, I can. Good evening, Metaxia.
Okay. Thank you for the presentation. It's been wonderful. I would like to have a quick question regarding the metrics. Today I was at the Nokia Club and we had a talk with the president, and he had been asking if there are some metrics that can helping out in referencing why they should continue having the Toastmasters Club. So what you said today was really helpful. Thank you very much. What I would like though to ask is, are there some metrics there where we can reference to economics? Can we translate the skills into some money? economics
Well,
in a case?
as far as I know, because I tried to look for that information in the past, but I didn't find anything. Because once someone told me that that also depends on, for example, the investment they do in normal training, in terms of days, in terms of value versus the improvements. And it's difficult to measure something that sometimes is a quality indicator versus a quantitative indicator. For example, if you can say to me, okay, Nelson, due to your Toastmasters experience, you could sell better that project to the customer or to the client. Well, that is something that I can connect, but sometimes it's difficult to connect these two things, and for that we need to work with them. So there are two things here, or three things regarding metrics. One that I missed. First of all is the DCP, that they can see the progress of the entire club. But also there is the EasySpeak. EasySpeak, if they use EasySpeak, they can define goals. So they can have inside EasySpeak a goal for each member, and the member can decide. So if I want to achieve the advanced communicator goal in 6 months, so what is my goal, and in each area, and even can be like three speeches in the next year. So that's a way. Sometimes when people start developing this development plan, they use an Excel file to do it. Perfectly okay, but you can use EasySpeak, and if you give access to, so if the person is also Toastmasters, you can define him inside the club as having a role at the same level, for example, as an officer, and he or she can see the progress of each member. So it's a way, there we can have the way of having metrics regarding process. Now, tying that to real money, or tangible things that can be seen by top management, you need to work with them. So you need to say, okay, what do, how, for example, presentation. If you go to present, to do presentation in an event, what do you think it's in terms of quality, in terms of impact? For example, you have a form, and you can have people saying that this presentation was an 8 in 0 to, or in 1 to 10, and an 8 means that well, it's a presentation that had impact, something like that. So that's a way to measure. The second one, regarding the money, the only thing is I see is compare training programs. But Toastmasters is not a comparable program to others, because it's a continuous program, and others are specific programs in time. So it's also difficult to compare. But if we go to return of investment, clearly Toastmasters will have better return of investment, not only immediately, because it's very low, but in medium and long term will make how I explain it will be the return will be better because people are practicing. So that's one of the key aspects. But I can now I'm trying to think, maybe I can ask Toastmasters if someone did already a study, because we work with external consultants for specific things. And this is, as you said, this is something that companies want. So they want to have information, real information. And if they have any study conducted with some companies that already have Toastmasters clubs, maybe there are some kind of metrics. They are generic, but can be used as an indicator. I can look that.
Thank you, Nelson. Oh, it will be helpful. Thank
Yeah, I know. I know, because it's also a way for us to, well, to sell the concept to a company, because we can say, okay, although we are talking usually about intangible benefits, by having values on top of that is a tangible metric, and that's a way they usually like to be convinced, and a way to speak to them.
you. Yes. Yes, in less than a minute I was told 20 participant, 50 euros per hour, 30 minutes makes 9,000 euros.
Mm-hmm.
So what value do I get for the company to get 9,000 euros apart for the venue and other expenses?
Exactly.
So they translated straight away skills versus quantity. They want some financial support.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So if there is something out there, it's very helpful. Thank you.
Yes, and that's one of the rationales is exactly that. So if they multiply for the amount of money that usually a company charge for specific training in the public speaking area, like we have, although it's not comparable, but for sure the return. First of all, it is more expensive, but then it lacks on the continuous training. So that's one of the very important aspects of Toastmasters, because we can continuously being training all the things that we are learning at the same time. So in terms of effectiveness, it's a lot more effective than others. Doesn't mean that others are not effective, but in the long term, it's more effective.
Okay, thank you, Nelson. Thank you very much.
Don't know if you have any other questions. If not, we can close our session. So we will make the session available in our website, and anything that you might need from my side, you can write to the CGD at district59.org, and I'm on the other side to help you and support you from club to area or division director whenever you need. Well, thank you very much for your attendance, and we will keep in touch and supporting corporate clubs in order to be sustainable and have profitable meetings, which means meetings with fun, good evaluations, and with people very well trained in Toastmasters for delivering the value to their customers. Well, thank you very much once again for your attendance, and we will see you in the future webinars. Thank you.